Whether you're here to have fun or here to win, we've got you. And we've got your safety in mind, too. So if you need a break, and these days, who doesn't? Come add a new chapter to your memories. Grand Casino. Let your story begin.
Live from Southern California, this is the Jim Rome Show.
With DeShaun Watson, and the update there. Somewhere the Texans have got to be popping bottles over the Russell Wilson story, which I will get to a little bit later on. Point being, if it weren't for Russ, all the heat around that story, everybody would be squarely focused on the Texans and the complete joke and embarrassment that they have become. I say this because Russ's situation is actually stealing the spotlight from DeShaun's situation. And the situation in Houston is, well, thanks to Russ, that's their biggest win since Houston got up 24-0 on Kansas City in the playoffs last year and let it get away. And let me tell you, this situation they're dealing with right now, they're going to choke on this situation like they did in that game because that's who they are. That's what they do. As an example, like the time they told DeShaun Watson he'd be involved in the hiring of a new head coach and a GM, only to ignore the guy outright. Not only was he not involved, not only was he not consulted, he found out that Nick Caserio was hired through social media. So what that brings us to is there's incompetent, and then there's stupid and incompetent. Then there's stupid, incompetent, and offensive. You tell your franchise quarterback that he's going to be involved in hiring a new GM, and not only is he not involved in that process, but you don't tell him when that process is over. He just finds out through social media like everybody else. I mean, that is downright moronic, but so on brand. So dumb, but so on brand for the Texans. So, of course, there's no surprise that DeShaun Watson finally did get around to demanding a trade a few weeks back. So then your question is, how are they going to handle that situation? Will the Texans admit that they butchered it in every way possible and then make it right with their best player ever? Because if that were the plan, that didn't work. Because they did not consider his opinion when they hired their head coach, David Culley. And the head coach finally got around to talking to Watson, and apparently that went horribly as well. According to reports, Watson and Culley spoke last Friday. Watson told the head coach he does not want to play for the Texans ever again. You're kind of like, yo, coach, nice to meet you. Congrats on the new opportunity. I am never playing a single snap for you. Get me the hell out of here. Actually, pretty brass. Nothing like rolling into a conversation with the new head coach and then telling him point blank, hey, good to have you here, coach. Just know I'm not going to be here. I'm not playing for you or anybody else. So, we've got a trade demand now, right? How are the Texans handling the trade demand? Because he's made it pretty clear he does not want to be there. Here's your answer. They're handling it by sending it to voicemail. Literally. Not a figure of speech, but literally. According to Tom Pelissero, quote, the Texans remain unwilling to discuss QB DeShaun Watson with other teams, some of whom have resorted to leaving voicemails with trade offers, per sources, end quote. I mean, that's incredible. I mean, amazing. Teams are having to resort to leaving voicemails with trade offers because nobody will pick up. Sidebar, by the way, regarding voicemail messages. By the way, who does that? Is there anybody anywhere other than teams calling the Texans who leave voicemails these days? Add that to the list of our universal reasons to go. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't condone violence. You should exhaust every possible option before you resort to violence of any sort, period. Having said that, and we've talked about this numerous times, but there are a few universal circumstances where I think we would all agree there are reasons to go. There are reasons to give somebody else the hands. I don't condone violence, but there are a few things that we'd all agree on. Like somebody spits in your face, that's a reason to go. Somebody insults your race or religion, that's a reason to go. Somebody threatens somebody you love, that's a reason to go. And if somebody leaves you a voicemail message, that damn well is a reason to go. That might even be the biggest reason on that list. Nobody leaves voicemails anymore. No one who has any respect for their fellow human being. And why is that? It's complete overkill. It's like an unspoken rule of engagement right about now, really for society overall. Texting is king. Even that is becoming a burden of sort. That's why emojis were invented and why people can just drop a thumbs up or a heart response now, so they can keep the communication and the engagement as efficient as possible. Besides, a missed call alert tells you everything you need to know. You missed a call. Nobody wants to go into a voicemail box and listen to somebody tell them they missed a call. We already know. We want our communication streamlined, fast, efficient, and as non-invasive as possible. And leaving a voicemail is the dead-ass opposite of all that. So I digress. My point is, pick up the freaking phone, dopes. Then again, if you're looking for the Texans to do the right thing, to do the smart thing, you're begging. No, instead, they're just going to keep on pissing off DeShaun Watson all offseason with their pettiness and their stupidity to the point where this guy refuses to show up, and then the story gets even bigger and even worse. Right about now, I'm trying to consider or conjure up a worse run professional franchise in any sport, and nobody is coming to mind. They got lucky as hell when Watson fell to them in the draft, and instead of devoting all their energy and resources to protecting this guy and building around him and treating him like the potential Hall of Famer he is, they have stripped him of his weapons and protection, and they've gone out of their way to alienate and ignore this guy. In other words, they also had a 24-0 lead in life, and they turned that into a 51-31 loss. Great work, fellas. Really good stuff. So really, there is no reason to believe they're going to turn this thing around. And so far, their strategy, if there is one, does not seem to be working, because yesterday, DeShaun tweeted, and I quote, "Loyalty is everything. Don't you ever forget it." I don't know. Maybe he's just dropping a future lyric, because that is what that is. But it also seems to sum up how that guy's feeling right now, what his current situation is. And that is that the team has never been loyal to him or valued him in a way that he would like to be valued, and I doubt he's going to forget that. I've got a feeling that's more what that tweet is about. Voicemail messages. How's that work? Like, leave your message after the beep. Yeah, hi, Nick? Yeah, this is John Gruden with the Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah, how you doing there, Nick? Hope you're well. Hey, anyway, I was thinking maybe I could take DeShaun off your hands. How does Derek Carr sound? What? You like that, right? Maybe Derek Carr and a 1 this year and a 1 next year. You know, I'll tell you what. I like you, Nick. I'll throw in Josh Jacobs. Let me know what works for you. My number is 555-555-5555. If you could just get back at your convenience, that'd be great. Hey, and I'll throw in Jonathan Abram. Beep. I mean, seriously, how's that going to work? How are they going to get this done? How is it going to work? They're not even picking up the phone. Teams making trade offers via voicemail. The most Texans thing ever. Fred Warner is my guest. Fred, good to have you back. How are you, Fred?
I'm outstanding, Jim. Thanks for having me on, man.
Always good to talk to you, Fred. So bring me up to date. You're coming off an amazing year. I just read the stats. From a team standpoint, Fred, obviously a little bit more challenging, and the season did not end the way you would have hoped. How have you gotten after the offseason? Are you kind of relaxing, laying out, or are you already at work and back on your grind?
Yeah, I had to take a little time off, just reflect over the season, rest the body, just to make sure I'm getting my mind right heading into getting a great offseason to work in, and that's what I'm doing now. I'm back full go into it, trying to really dial in all the details of my everyday just regimen, and hoping that I can take that next step in my career.
All right, so I mentioned the numbers. You had a great year, All-Pro, Pro Bowl. In terms of taking that next step, what does that look like to you, your next step, and what are you working on?
Well, I mean, just overall consistency. I played at a high level this past season, but what are ways? Just trying to find ways to really improve and improve the guys around me, being a leader for this team, and ultimately trying to get that prize at the end of it, which is a Super Bowl. That's my number one goal. The All Pros, the Pro Bowls, those are all great, and just to earn that respect. It's such an honor and it's very humbling. But at the end of the day, I want that Lombardi. So just finding ways to get guys together or figure out ways where I could help any way that I can. That's what I'm trying to look for right now.
Are you feeling stressed out? Probably so. Most people are. Listen, don't let the stress of daily life weigh on your body. Whether you're an elite athlete or somebody like me, just trying to make it through the day tension-free, Theragun can help. Theragun is the handheld percussive therapy device that releases your deepest muscle tension using a scientifically calibrated combo of depth, speed, and power, and it's as quiet as an electric toothbrush. This product is incredible. The Gen 4 Theragun doesn't just feel good, it gets to the source of the pain by releasing tension using Theragun's signature percussive therapy, which goes 60% deeper than vibration alone. Whether you want to treat your muscle tension from working out, or maybe you have an injury, or it's just the stresses of everyday life, there is no substitute for the Theragun Gen 4. Theragun is trusted by 250 professional sports teams like Real Madrid and elite athletes like Paul George, DeAndre Hopkins, Maria Sharapova, hundreds of thousands of customers, and myself. I have mine. I absolutely love this product. Try Theragun for 30 days, starting at only $199. Go to Theragun.com/Rome right now and get your Gen 4 Theragun today. This product is sensational. Go to Theragun.com/Rome right now. Get your Gen 4 Theragun today. The product is absolutely amazing. Once again, Theragun.com/Rome, R-O-M-E. Theragun.com/Rome. We're talking to Fred Warner, so I hear what you're saying. The individual honors are great, but it's about the ring. It's about the ultimate prize. When you've been to a Super Bowl and you've had that taste, how painful is it then not to go get that taste back?
Oh, man, so painful, it's especially when you don't even have a shot at getting it. You know, we didn't make the playoffs this past season, and so watching every week after the regular season ended, it was just torture, you know, especially coming off of a year where we made it to the Super Bowl. We didn't win. That was painful in itself, but not even have a shot, that really hurt. So there was a lot of things out of our control. I'm not going to sit here and make a ton of excuses, but there's a lot of things that we can clean up and get fixed, and we will, and we have to in order to get back to that spot where we want to be.
We're talking to Fred Warner. You know, Fred, I know you're not going to use it as an excuse, but everybody knows how banged up that team was last year. I talked to a number of your teammates over the course of the year, and I was so impressed with the way that even though you guys lost man after man after man, nobody complained and everybody kept fighting and everybody kept battling no matter what was going on. Like, nobody packed it in. And even when the team had to move to Arizona, how do you explain that mentality, and what was that process like for you?
Well, yeah, I think that's just what the type of guys that we have in the building, right? The culture of everybody having each other's back, protecting the team, and regardless of the situation, it's always next man up. You know, that's what the NFL is. There's always going to be injuries and different things that happen, but it happened to the highest degree, I guess, for us this past season. And it was a credit to our guys and our coaching staff of helping guys prepare each week to get ready. There was always a different lineup, it seemed, every week of guys on the field and who were the starters. So, you know, I think that's the thing that everybody has to focus on going into this off season is how can they prepare their bodies to the utmost degree to make sure that we're healthy going into the next season. And obviously there are things that you just are out of your control, but just limiting as many of the little factors that we can.
Fred Warner's joining us. So you know that guys are going to go down. That's part of the game. Also, you know that when you come back in the following year, there are going to be guys that were in the locker room that no longer are. As an example, Richard Sherman's going to be a free agent. He said that he had a conversation with John Lynch where they both acknowledged that he probably would not be back with the team next year. So what will this defense be like without Richard Sherman, both as a player and a person?
Yeah, free agency is just such a crazy deal, right? Every year there's so much turnover. And just from me looking at, how the team has changed over the years, I mean, the cultures remain the exact same. We've kept a great foundation, and the cultures remain the same, but there's always a different locker room every year. With Richard, I'm obviously he's said different things and had several conversations with the team. I don't know what's official and what's not yet, but just speaking on Rich and the impact that he's had on me, as a player and just growing into my game. He's helped me all along the way, and we've had so many deep conversations about just being a leader and about ball and about life. And I can't say how much that means to me and how just valuable those conversations were. So if he is moving on to a different team. That that is a big loss, but that's just another